Ann Heche, drunk, speeding, entering in a fiery crash in an LA neighborhood. Hey, my name is Byron Brown. I'm a lawyer. I know I don't look like the lawyer, and that's why they call me the anti-lawyer lawyer. And I got the legal receipts to prove to you today why I believe Ann Heche was drunk and likely speeding at the time of the fiery crash in Mara Vista in a neighborhood in Los Angeles. Normal people don't do that, but someone having a dirtbag day, someone chugging vodka, wine chasers during the podcast before. When we go to calculatorsoup.com and we plug in 38 feet and we say that it took her 0.3176 seconds to travel that 38 feet, it comes up with a calculation of 81.8 miles an hour. And look in the cup holder. Okay, let's zoom in one more. Look at the top of that bottle. We call that in Canada a Mickey. And this is just on the heels of another fiery, deadly crash that has so far killed 6 people in Windsor Hills on Slauson and La Brea. This is a problem. So Ann Heche has been in a fiery crash, which resulted in her being intubated and rushed to the emergency room. Now here's a picture below of the scene of the accident. And as you see, when we zoom in, you can see Ann Heche's blue Mini Cooper in the front yard of this Mara Vista home. And then you have another picture of her being rushed away by ambulance attendants to the ambulance. And then this is interesting. Right as she's about to get into the ambulance on the stretcher, she appears to sit up, maybe be arguing with the ambulance attendants. Now that could be because she's drunk. It also could be because she's in shock and she's scared. But I believe the evidence tends to show not only was she drunk, but she was speeding at the time of the accident. So first things first, drunk. Well, TMZ alleges that the following audio was recorded the same day as this crash in Ann Heche's podcast that she has with Heather Duff called Better Together with Ann and Heather. Play this first clip.
Dr. Rom said that we should be drinking vodka instead of wine.
And we listened.
So Refined makes vodka. They sent us vodka, and we are
drinking
their
it.
advice. Although if you look to the side, you might see
with wine chasers.
So she's talking about wine and chasers, and she's talking specifically about vodka. Well, the interesting thing about that is a couple things, right? She's slurring her speech as she's talking. And the second thing is the vodka. Well, that's interesting because now let's pull up this photo of her in her Mini Cooper, allegedly taken the day of the accident, moments, hours, maybe minutes, maybe before the accident, and look in the cup holder. Okay, let's zoom in one more. Look at the top of that bottle. Now, we're gonna pull in a Mickey, we call that in Canada a Mickey, of a Smirnoff vodka bottle with a red top, okay? I know the picture of the bottle within her car is not a great photo, but the width, the diameter, the shape appears to be vodka. And when we put that together with the other circumstantial evidence of her mentioning the vodka within her podcast, I believe it tends to show that that could be a bottle of vodka. Now, does it mean that she was drinking the bottle of vodka because it was in the car? No. But how many people drive around with a bottle of vodka in their middle console moments, minutes, hours after she recorded a podcast where she was admitted to drinking wine and chasers and vodka? I mean, that could be enough in and of itself for a jury to determine that she was drinking at least. We still don't know whether she was drunk, right? Okay, so now let's hear the second audio clip from the podcast that TMZ is alleging to have been recorded the day of, minutes or hours before the subject accident.
But sometimes days just suck. Some days there's those no good, very bad days. And I don't know why some days just end up like this.
So she's admits to having a dirt bag day. She's frustrated with her day. And in fact, when that audio carries over, Heather goes on to say that Ann's likely still having one of those days. So we have slurred speech, we have a bad day. Well, that could be all of the ingredients necessary for a fiery crash. You know what can make that fiery crash even more likely to happen is speeding. You take time, speed, and distance, and you can calculate speed. Is it perfect? No, I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not a biomechanical engineer. I'm not an accident reconstructionist. However, I can go to calculatorsoup.com like everybody else. Now, how did I do this? How did I get the time, speed, and distance? Well, I got the time and I got the distance, but I don't have the speed. So here's a video taken minutes before the subject accident of a Ring bell camera on someone's home that was close to where the crash was, where you can see Anne Heche's blue Mini Cooper fly by the screen. Okay, show the clip. The audio sounds like that engine is revving. So this is what I did. Let's take this still. I'm gonna pop it up into the bottom corner here, and this is what you see. You see the section of the fence, we see the car, and then if on your left as you look at the photo, you see sections of the fence. I'm estimating that each section of fence is about 4 feet, and I'm counting 7 feet of fence. Okay, so that's 28 feet. Now we're gonna add in, I Googled the average driveway width in that neighborhood is 10 to 12 feet. So we got 38 to 40 feet. You're right, that definitely is not accurate, but I think it gives us a ballpark. And then what I did is I timed the amount of time it takes for her car to zip in front of the screen. I timed it 3 different times. The first time, 0.33 seconds. Second, 0.36. Third, 0.26. That averages out. If we add that up and divide by 3, the time is 0.3167 seconds. So when we go to calculatorsoup.com and we plug in 38 feet and we say that it took her 0.3176 seconds to travel that 38 feet, it comes up with a calculation of 81.8 miles an hour. Let's just say that that's off by 20 miles an hour, right? So let's say that's 16, carry the 4. What do you got? You got 54 miles an hour. In a residential neighborhood that's likely 25 miles an hour, normal people don't do that, but someone having a dirtbag day, someone chugging vodka, wine chasers during the podcast before, that sure could happen. So I believe that the evidence shows not only was she possibly drunk, but that she was speeding at the time of the accident. Not only, I haven't even talked about how this all started, where she crashed into a different apartment complex. The residents came out and tried to get her, and she pulls away. That again is circumstantial evidence that she was likely drunk. Who flees the scene of the accident absent somebody who's worried about getting in trouble for a myriad of reasons, whether you're drunk, whether you had drugs in the car. And I'm not alleging that she had drugs in the car. I'm just saying normal people do not flee the scene of the accident. So you take in the podcast, you take the statements made in the podcast, you take the video of driving in front. I mean, this all adds up that she was drunk and she was speeding at the time of the accident. And unfortunately now, obviously she's caused harm to others, but she also has caused harm to herself. She was in a fiery crash, witnesses that she was on fire. She suffered burns to part of her body, and that is why she was intubated. But the news does say that she's going to have a full recovery, but a long recovery. So we wish her the best, but this is a dangerous thing. Speeding and alcohol do not go together. One of those things in and of themselves shouldn't occur. However, this happened. That's my opinion. What is your opinion? What do you believe? And again, this is all circumstantial evidence. At the moment I'm posting this, I do not know whether the police did a blood draw, whether she breathed into a breathalyzer, any of that information. I'm using circumstantial evidence as a lawyer to determine what I believe has happened. And that is what I believe has happened. What do you think? Please comment, share. Hey, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate the support. Peace.